Hello and welcome, Star Wars fans, to this week's episode of Duel of the Ranks, a show where we debate takes so hot that they'd melt a planet with twin suns. My name's Brody, and tonight I'm joined by my co-hosts Christian and Amanda as we attempt to discover what story is truly the best from a galaxy far, far away. On this week's episode, we're going to be discussing ranks and hot takes from The Mandalorian, Chapter 11. The Heiress. By the end of this episode, we'll have a definitive answer on where this piece of Star Wars content ranks amongst the rest. And if you're watching the live YouTube session, you'll note Christian is back this week. And I'm very thankful for it because last week I announced that we were going to be discussing Chapter 11.
Yeah, and we needed someone to be sure that we were talking about the correct thing.
We talked about it was episode 10.
Numbers, there.
You leave for 1 week. Amanda and I forget all the details.
I'm sorry I left you hanging again. But you guys, you pulled it together. It was the spider episode, it's kind of a dismal lower episode, but you guys still.
Did you have any thoughts? Did you have any thoughts that you wanted to add before we jump into the next episode since you weren't here?
I will say, Amanda, you got me thinking more objectively about the freaky spider-like things. And those are probably the freakiest creature in Star Wars. I will say I probably look at this episode more towards how Brody does. Like, I honestly still enjoy it. I enjoy the beginning the most before the whole ice snow planet. Because there's some cool things there. But my final number, what was my final number? What did that bring it?
It wasn't great. You gave it a 65.2%. Overall, 66% for the episode.
Still not great.
Right in line with what we thought it'd be.
Yep.
But this episode was a lot better.
This episode, legendary.
Amanda, what was Chapter 11 all about?
Frog Lady gets reunited with her husband and watches over the child while Mando meets his own kind, including Bo-Katan Kryze. Kryze? It's weird seeing it spelled out like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I always say Bo-Katan too, but she says Bo-Katan.
Bo-Katan.
And I also think of the board game Catan. And I don't know if other people call it Catan.
Settlers of Bo-Katan.
Ooh.
I say Catan. You say Catan?
I say Catan.
It's been a while since I played the game.
I've played it twice this week.
I like the Seafarers.
You played Catan twice this week?
Twice.
Wow.
My brother-in-law lost Keat, and he and my sister played a lot. They came over and so I played it twice.
Real quick.
Classic.
Do you have a favorite expansion, or you just like the classic Catan?
I've only played. I call it Katab.
All right. Very weird.
No, I've only played that version. I mean, the expansion of the original. That's all I've ever done.
Okay. Amanda, you?
That's the same with us. We only have like enough players to expand, like beyond like the initial 5.
Yeah.
But like those expansions are like as much as the base game.
It really is. It's a whole new world.
Do you have one you recommend?
I really like the Seafarers one. It brings a cool new element to like ship routes and building and whatnot. But like, speaking of ships and pillaging villages, these bounty hunters really wrecked the task.
Yeah. Wow.
We missed that.
Yeah. I will tell you, they if there was ever a way to introduce Bo-Katan and all of her folks like into live action, well done.
This was very well done.
Done.
What did you like about it specific?
Well, first off, the fact that they used the voice actress.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That's such a like fortunate thing that doesn't always work out.
You know, that was the first time this happened in Star Wars.
Really?
Bringing an animated character to live action, but using that same voice. That was the first time they did it.
It worked. It worked really well. I mean, the action sequences were phenomenal. I loved the dialogue. Love the whole like, he didn't kill your brother. I did.
Yeah.
a lot of that where you get that kind of gritty vibe that you pick up on from like the
There was
Clone Wars
also a
stuff.
lot of like comedic moments, and it kind of gave me Last Jedi vibes, like in the little like hand, like elbow nudge type of kind of humor that I liked.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. What was everyone thinking the first time they watched this and they saw what is octopus face people like? What's that race of people?
Oh,
When they
it's on the tip of my tongue.
he kicks in Baby Yoda into the water to get eaten by the Kraken. What was everyone's thoughts when they first saw that and they see him jump into the water for that?
I mean, that was
I
great.
I thought like, how is his suit supposed to function in water, especially his like jetpack?
Mm.
And I also just realized that the Mandalorian's only weakness is water. It's like the one thing he couldn't survive. It's almost like he has a fear of swimming or something.
It did show a weakness, but yeah, I thought it was a great element of surprise. Like, holy crap, this is dark. Like, lives are at stake. What are we gonna do? Thank goodness for Clan Kryze.
I was wondering like how were they? Did they have like a ship? They were just hanging out above them because they were clearly
Unlimited
waiting.
fuel supply.
Yeah,
Were they just waiting up there with their jetpacks, just like not now?
they're probably doing their low Earth orbit patrol already on their jetpacks and just circling.
Well, that one Mandalorian had eyes on him. When
That's what I'm
he
saying,
was,
like-
on the market.
So they were following him around.
Definitely.
had a little raft buoy tailing behind for
Just
A
watching.
little
and
inner
waiting.
tube.
a little schooner.
Yeah, just watching and waiting, making sure he
Fishing.
didn't hurt.
Just
That's a little weird.
waiting to catch something.
So Bo-Katan's a stalker.
I did like though points for the music when anytime they had like their badass action scenes, it was kind of like a Stranger Things synth type
Yeah.
grit. I don't know. I really liked it. I thought it worked well for that group.
What did we also? And by the way, I'm a big fan of synth and 80s
Yeah.
music like that, so it worked well for me too. What did we think about? I think it's the first time in live action where we've seen an Imperial officer when you realize, oh, when they're going to get captured, they do that. I think it's like I don't know if that's like a Nazi practice or what, where you know you're going to get captured, you bite this capsule and kill yourself.
Oh, yeah, like the arsenic or
The
whatever.
cyanide pill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like, no, there were the whole premise. There weren't going to be
Yeah.
any prisoners.
That was electrifying. It was,
Yeah, I thought that
Oh.
was intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty intense moment for this episode.
It was
Yeah.
great effects, great special effects. I think we all ranked the technical aspects pretty high here. I loved the scene of the machine bringing the Razor Crest out of the water and all of the water that spills out of it. I
Yes.
thought that CGI and animation was awesome.
Yes. I'm glad you said that. The modified, like it was like the trash AT-AT and that crane
Yes.
thing
Yeah.
pulling it out. And it looked great. Like the Razor Crest and its descent, like the fall, the landing, the pulling it back, it all looked really good. I always think the Razor Crest shows probably one of the best on like the technical aspects. It just looks very real ship.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I wanted to comment how this episode felt very Batman, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Like it felt like Bo-Katan and like her clan would just kind of pop down like they were Batman and be like, poo, pow, smash, bang.
Yeah.
Yeah, rainy at the docks.
Yes. Yeah. In the shadows.
Yeah.
Taking out the bad guys.
Yes.
I don't say that as a critique, it's just sort of like the vibe that I got from it.
Yeah.
I really don't like Bo-Katan's fine. Her one, like, the guy buddy in the group, I guess he's like, first off, I love Bo-Katan, so I'm going to start with that, actually. The guy buddy in the group is, like, fine. He doesn't really do anything. I detest the other lady, though.
Sasha Banks.
She had like one line.
Yeah.
She comes back in this season.
Oh, I
And
don't think I remember
spoiler
that.
alert.
She has an altercation that, in my mind, warrants death
Mm.
for her.
Oh yeah,
I don't remember this, so
I know
I can't
makes
remember.
that makes sense coming from you. I get that.
And I am very upset that that death didn't play out. They nerfed the character she was fighting, and all I got to say is if they do a Book of Boba Fett season 2, I don't want
Rematch.
Mace Windu as the
Oh,
villain. I want her.
you want her?
I want a rematch.
All right.
I
She,
thought
like,
she was the
spun a-
most wasted character this episode because, like, yeah, she had some screen time, but she had like one whole line. And I don't know if her purpose or having the two like side characters next to her were to show that, like, oh, Bo-Katan is like building up an army. So it's not just her on her own. And I think that was what Mando needed to see.
She eats worms too.
That
Who
was
likes
a
a-
fish. It was like a
Like a spaghetti squid noodle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who trusts a worm eater? Not me.
Grogu.
Yeah, Grogu, a baby eater.
Yeah. The Amanda, what you were
Weird
saying
group.
with like the characters next to her, I think that's part of the. I didn't really have a problem with. I just liked seeing them there. I think their presence in the armor. I was like, this is cool. I get 4 Mandalorians in the shot, and then kind of those 3 showing Mando like, oh, you're from the ancient old conservative way, and they're like, and he's kind of. I think the 3 of them there show him, or he starts to at least question. Whereas opposed, if it was just one-on-one, yeah, he might not question as much. But yeah, Rural Farm Boy, good evening. Thanks for joining. Welcome.
Yeah. Welcome. But yeah, overall, this episode was a lot of fun. I
Yeah.
think we put it at a ranking of 79 point. Let's see. Yeah, 79.67%. So that's good.
It's a good score.
That's a very honorable score.
It's a very enjoyable episode to watch, and I think what my highest category was story. I think it does really good service for the story of the
You
show.
think, whoa, that's like my lowest category. I'd love to know
Really?
why you think that story was so phenomenal.
I think it for the first time kind of reveals to us maybe Mando's way is flawed in a bit, and showing some more. It brings more of the Mandalorian culture back to live action for the first time, and showing a challenge to Mando. There are more of them, and we get this progression of, we name drop Ahsoka in this one, and they're like, I am going to provide you a direct connection for this child to the Jedi. But again, you're going to help me out with a cool little side quest. And the side quest was very entertaining.
Yeah.
With a cool new character, that actor, Titus, he did the
plays
cyanide.
Bosch.
Pill. Yeah.
He's in
The
Lost
Bosch
too.
guy.
Yeah, Bosch guy.
Yeah.
Chris Bosch.
Yeah. Rural Farmer says, to me, Costco Reeves was a badass.
Look, like I said, I did love the episode. I can't praise the story that much. It seems like you love it because of the immersive universe stuff, talking about Mandalorian culture,
And the story.
name dropping Ahsoka. Yeah, those are great reasons and things to appreciate about it. But for me, it was a great, little like Skyrim side quest, quick one.
Yeah,
able to go off, do something. It wasn't as like overtly a side quest as last week's episode.
Yeah.
But that's honestly this whole season of Mando.
You think?
Yeah.
Like just mostly side quests?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I remember of it. I was also trying to think, did we know when this first came out that Ahsoka was going to be in the season, or did we all find out in that moment that we were going to have Ahsoka?
I think
I do. Yeah, we
I think
didn't
I
know
found
yet.
out.
We
Yeah,
hadn't known
like
yet
from this
I
one.
I
when they
don't
name
think we
dropped her.
knew. I think it
Yeah.
was just like we all heard that name and we were like,
Yeah, it was like, what the heck? Are you kidding me?
I know.
We're gonna see that
in
Do they-
real life.
first Bo-Katan. Now, so like, who else are they gonna bring? That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah. And oh man, I mean, it starts with Cobb Vanth,
Yeah, it starts with Cobb.
guy from the books, the comics, we all
Most
know and
handsome
love.
fella on this.
Most
side of the
handsome
Outer Rim.
man in the history of Star Wars. You go off of that, then you have frog lady that we all know and love.
Oh,
Episode 2.
Frog Lady's
That was-
Can we
debut.
give Frog Lady a name? I think it's a disservice to her character.
Yeah, we should find a name.
Otherwise, she just feels like an NPC.
She introduced herself, and I just said it.
She's a great mother, it seems like.
Really?
Yeah. You know what? And I also pointed out that at the end of the episode, when Mando goes to pick him back up from the frog parents,
Mhm.
that the child has already formed an attachment with that little tadpole baby. He was like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want to leave him. And I was like, ooh, Jedi.
Or did he want to eat him?
I think he was excited to see a new friend.
It was cool.
He was ready to eat that spider baby.
Cool to see a
He had
new
no
little tadpole.
reservations. I don't
But
trust
the spider
Baby
baby
Yoda.
wasn't born yet, so it was a spider fetus.
Yeah.
Oh, hot take. So anyway, going into
Well, I
No,
wanted
but
to ask-
truly, like that was the kind of lineage, like they drew that line.
Mhm. I wanted to get both of your guys' highest categories. Amanda, what was your highest ranked category? And Brody, what was your highest ranked category?
It's the
My
same.
highest rank was the immersive universe. We got so much just hearing about the Mandalorians, learning about how now we know Mando is part of a traditional conservative line, and there's this entire world of Mandalore that he doesn't even know about.
Yeah.
We get the dark saber. We get what's his name? Giancarlo Esposito. What's his character's name? Why am I
Moff
forgetting?
Gideon.
We get Moff Gideon back.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of lore nods out here.
I'd have to agree for all the same reasons.
Yeah.
And I remember when they said Ahsoka Tano, I was really excited. I wasn't freaking out until I did see her, in fact, appear in the show and how well done that episode was.
Yep.
Very excited to rank and review the rest of this season. So, yeah, overall, really good episode. Right now, where The Mandalorian does stand as a whole in comparison to all shows, a little bit bummed right now. It sits number 3. Andor is still number 1 at an 80%. Number 2, somehow, I don't know how this is possible, y'all, but number 2, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi at 78.04%, which hopefully will change. But
It's those highs and
those lows.
the
Then we have the
lows.
Mandalorian, which has had a lot of lows, but I feel like it's really starting to swing up at 76.48%. So it's number 3.
Mhm.
And it's very far above Book of Boba Fett at 71.75, Tales of Jedi, and then Bad Batch. So
Yeah.
They got a comment. Says sucking Brody.
Padawans.
The pod ones they love Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I mean, Obi-Wan wasn't that bad. Like
Yeah.
the episodes themselves were good,
Mhm.
but I think I don't know, it just maybe wasn't what people were expecting or what they needed. I don't know.
It's not what I needed.
Yeah.
We kind of, and we did a pretty good breakdown of it in that show.
It's just Owen Lars. If he wasn't in it, it probably would have been 100%.
Really?
No.
That's Isaac.
It's that one character everyone couldn't
It
stand,
was-
right? Oh, and that's the one
Yeah.
everyone's talking about.
I mean, Aunt Beru brought that show up
Yeah.
like a boss.
She came out with whatever, a musket.
Came out with her rifle ready to hunt some. Yeah.
That show did have me like start thinking about doing like a Star Wars cover and putting it on like our TikTok to like just start torturing our listeners and watch like all the work we've put in to gain so many listeners. I was thinking about doing like, because of the couple of shows we've watched, making some like cover songs with the old acoustic guitar here in the studio and watch our listener base just dwindle.
Some covers, some
Yeah,
parodies.
we've worked so hard to gain followers, and now you're like, let's push them away.
Let's
But
burn
wait,
it all to the ground.
before we jump off topic of Obi-Wan, I just want to call out how disappointed I am that we have never had Padme Amidala mentioned by name in any future Star Wars projects after her death. Like, there was no reason that we shouldn't have had Padme mentioned in Obi-Wan. And how are we not going to bring that up?
She was mentioned, just not by name, like you said.
Yeah, everyone's just like, she's like this elusive character, and she's like one of the most important people in Star Wars.
Yeah. The mother.
Yeah, it's interesting. Don't know why they haven't done
more
it.
Padme content.
I'd welcome it.
We have a comment that says there's a canon reason for that. I'd love to know what that reason was.
I don't want to know because I just want her name brought up.
Yes.
I don't know.
I guess okay, hold on. Before I get called off on the internet, she was dead in Tales of the Jedi. We saw her dead body there. So
that was something to talk about too. Is like, I don't know. I can't recall. There are a few scenes, like the Order 66 with Palpatine's speech as well. But like, it's weird seeing a live action scene first, then recreated in the animated form that we know so well. And that was really weird seeing her funeral in the animation.
Agreed. But I liked it.
But it was good. Yeah.
I mean, it completely contradicted what we read in the Ahsoka book. So, I mean, either the Ahsoka book is crap, which we've known for some time, or Tales of the Jedi, which actually I enjoyed. So I'm just going to stick with what we know and say the Ahsoka book was not very good. It has nothing to say on the writer's style. It's nothing against
against him.
I don't have to like every story I read.
Yeah.
I didn't like that one.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
The Tales of the Jedi was much more serviceable. If you're not going to tell much of a story at all, maybe just like write like something like this thin.
You know what would be serviceable?
Or like 48
a good hot
text.
take.
A good hot take. Well, I think we can help you out with that at our next segment of the show.
All
right. Don't be too proud of this podcast you've constructed. The ability to rank content is insignificant next to the power of an exceptional hot take.
It's Outtakes time. And Christian, you wanted this segment so much, so we're going to let you have it.
Yeah.
What's your hot take?
All right, let's think of one on the spot.
You forced your way into this segment, and you had nothing.
What was I thinking? Someone was going to die. That's kind of like another go-to hot take. Someone should have died. I do think, though, like, getting back to Amanda's point of like the three characters, if he would have had one of the Bo-Katan's clan, like trio.
I'm so mad you started. I was gonna say the guy should have died.
Yeah,
because there's no consequence.
Because of all the people, we're thinking the same one. I was thinking that, if you kill someone off, you got to kill off that guy, or like he has some cool sacrifice on that cargo bay, and like dies, and Mando sees kind of what's going on or whatnot. But I think that would even have been better for the shows. Like, you kill one of those guys. That guy.
We should have wrote our hot takes down. That's literally what I was going to say. So I'm voting it up because that's
all right.
That's what I was going to say.
I'm going to say it's milquetoast because it seems inconsequential.
All right.
Well,
too easy of a hot take.
But because one of us agreed with you.
That's crap, because I should have gotten Roger for last week's hot take because Christian said that the spiders were the creepiest species. So play that. Thank you.
All right, Amanda, what's your hot take?
My hot take is I think the stormtrooper fighting scenes cheapened this episode. They felt just stale. I don't know if stormtroopers can feel intimidating anymore. I don't think they're an intimidating adversary, and it cheapens, I think, any of the fight credibility of anyone engaged with them.
Yeah.
Unless you're like an Andor or Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
It did feel like they went more on the comedic route for this one, for like an intense, fight scene or whatnot. It was funny that they're like, how many of them? He's like, there are 10 of them or so. And he's like, oh, they're Mandalorian. There are like 3 of them.
Yeah.
4. I'll agree with you. Yeah, because hot take. I think it's a hot take because people need stormtroopers in Star Wars, and they're traditionally for comic relief. So it's not a bad stretch to. I don't blame the directors for doing it this way, but at the same time, it's like raise the stakes.
Yeah.
Don't have to make it funny. Make them do something.
Like, never once was I really scared that any of those Mandalorians were going to lose in a battle with even being so outnumbered by stormtroopers.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you
Yeah.
say, Brody?
I don't know. I think it's pretty milquetoast myself. I mean, it
You're
doesn't
just
ruffle my
jealous.
feathers. It doesn't ruffle my feathers. It's like the stormtroopers shouldn't have been in the episode. Well, all right.
No, I just discredited their entire appearance in any more Star Wars. Like, we just don't need stormtroopers anymore.
I don't know. I guess if I had to put an opinion to that, I would disagree. I want to see them be awesome. I'd like to see them pose some real opposition, as they were initially intended to be. But yeah, they're definitely a joke now. What were we watching recently where they're like, they said, oh yeah, they had stormtroopers there and they couldn't hit the broadside of a barn or something like that. We were watching something recently.
That's what this guy said.
Oh, that was this episode?
Yeah, the guy who I said should have died, he said that. And I was
okay.
like, oh, you're going to die for that, man.
Yeah.
And then he didn't die.
I wish, yeah.
I was like,
wish
oh,
he
he was
would-
fighting.
I wish he would have died for that. That would have made it a lot better. So yeah, I want to see him.
Ooh, Rural Farm Boy brings up a good point. He says, so stormtroopers taking Ferrix folks out was comic relief.
Oh my.
Oh.
That's a good point. Was that mostly stormtroopers in that final clash? I already can't remember, but
There were stormtroopers.
they were able to, that's true. They were able to make those stormtroopers more, but also they're fighting like just human civilians that have like no participation or business in battle. And meanwhile, we have like the Mandalorian or Jedi or other people where stormtrooper is like a dummy kill.
Yeah.
More often than not, a lot of dummy kills. But they do show, yeah, they can. I mean, they're there shooting people.
Trying.
I'm down for more stormtroopers, especially if they come in like Andor. So I'm going to disagree. You disagreed, right?
No, he agreed.
No, I did agree.
Why would you be done with stormtroopers for good?
No, I'm done with all the comedic relief. I'm ready to see more of the serious
That's what I said.
ramifications.
But she said she was done with stormtroopers going forward.
Altogether, no more.
I just don't think that they're like they're doing a
See?
disservice to any fight scenes that they're in.
Disagree with her. Come on. You want to be done with them for good?
No.
All
She's
right.
not saying
I got a
that.
bad feeling about this hot take.
You just wanted to play it.
All right, I got that out in my system. I'm good. I got it. I got what I wanted to get out of this. But yeah.
Yeah.
My turn to make up a hot take on the
All right.
spot. It's hard. The easiest hot take is to say somebody should have died.
And now
Oh,
every
yeah.
time in the future you guys suggest that someone should die, I'm just gonna say milquetoast.
Yeah,
because
just
I know
say it.
that you're just trying to pull that one.
Yeah. We're just
And
being
make it stick.
lazy.
And that makes me so mad that I had prepped mine.
You told me to go first?
I know. That's my own fault. And now I got to legitimately think about this episode from A to Z.
I'll
Have
come
you
up-
not been doing that this entire recording session?
Just making stuff up as I go.
No, thinking about this episode from A to Z.
No, I just let you two talk about it and I add
Dude,
color.
to do
You
a
know
hot
me.
take, you should make a religious comparison to the old creed to her Bo-Katan's reformed creed. You should get a religious
Why didn't
war
you
going.
talk about that?
I just thought of that.
See, that's a way better hot take that I'm gonna, I guess,
You
have
should
to steal
you
now.
should make a very inaccurate.
Keep making my
and-
hot take for me.
You should make a very inaccurate, gross comparison, over dramatization of comparing the Mandalorian creed to to real world religions.
Oh,
and
gosh.
Well,
it'll
like,
just
like the
offend a lot of
Mandalorian
people.
is like an Opus Dei, like monastery guy, and
The monk.
Bo-Katan is all like atheists.
Yeah.
They're just like the Quakers.
Progressive Catholicism
Yeah, where they just a little more.
compared to like Orthodox Jew.
Wow, this is actually getting into
I love the Jews.
very. Wow,
They're good friends of mine.
I think we have our soundbite for this
I'm
week.
just saying, you could make this. Star Wars is fun with religion. You should really encourage this kind of talk, Brody. George Lucas talks about how he really doesn't peg one religion in Star Wars. Thankfully, he's pulls a lot of different things,
Yeah.
and it feeds into his knowledge of the Force and whatnot. But it is fun to start thinking about what the ramifications are with Mando's creed and his way of life, and to Bo-Katan, because you're like, well, what's the big deal? Why not? Why can't both of you do the same thing? And I think they're going to come to that
I mean,
point.
I think it's
Alright.
a lot easier to compare it to like political sides
Oh,
because clearly, like Mando is conservative, traditional values.
What?
Yeah.
There's-
And I love how Bo-Katan is then like, this is the way. Like she uses it to kind of manipulate him into doing what she needs him to do.
Oh man, wow, y'all are both reaching.
I'm not reaching. That was literally in the episode.
Oh my goodness. All I'll say
You
is
just refuse to comment on it.
Dude,
if
dip your toes into the fire. You're going to love it here.
I'll be that guy who doesn't make any political or racial or religious comments this entire show, and the last episode just drops how I think about everything, and the world's just like, oh gosh, you should have
Yeah.
never spoke.
We got
JK, I don't have that many crazy opinions on any of these things, but what I will say is if there was any guy who I think in Star Wars that has it the most right from a religious perspective, whether it's the Mandalorians or whatever, because weapons are their religion and their creed and everything they live by. There's only one person, I think, in the history of Star Wars that has it all summed up perfectly. And this is my hot take. And it's Chirrut from Rogue One.
All right.
He is the only individual in the history of Star Wars that really has it all put together. He can't attain power, but he just has faith that it's all going to work out. And that's what leads him into walking into battle. He has no ability to just force push or force choke those stormtroopers. They are unlike what Mando was saying about cannon fodder. They are a legitimate threat to him, but his faith is what leads him to assurance. Whatever is going to happen is what was supposed to happen.
All right. I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me.
Yeah. So we have to go that route. I'd say Mando, Bo-Katan, they're all messed up. They're all lost.
All right.
Poor souls.
The one true way.
Obi-Wan is lost. All of them are lost. Anakin is lost. They all have something that they're just like, even Ahsoka, who's she's just living for the purpose of she's got this, she's clearly searching. She's never satisfied with anything. She's always trying to fill her cup with making other people feel happy or content, but she's just getting sadder and sadder as her own life continues. Then there's Chirrut, the only person in Star Wars history with some ability in the Force, and it's just content all around.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree because you're not saying nothing too. You said a lot of milquetoast things. It's pretty easy to agree with.
Just saying, everyone else has got it wrong, including Obi-Wan,
Well, clearly,
Yoda,
yeah, no one's disagreeing.
Luke,
I mean,
Rey.
what'd she do?
And she brought balance back to the Force because she's,
Hey,
I'm
she
a
made
Jedi.
she made a yellow lightsaber, man. All right, don't you?
Listen,
Don't you
man,
offend
he's
her.
got it more all together than Plo Koon and Kit Fisto combined.
Those guys need their own DJ club. This is our last segment, so it's like, what do I transition you to?
Oh, I've got a transition for you.
This is the way to trivia time!
It is trivia time. And who has the question of the week?
That would be me.
Are you sure?
I mean, I've been absent, so I feel like I
Hold
should do
on.
it.
I was hoping no one would know.
Oh, I kind of assumed it was me.
It probably is you.
Yeah,
You've been slacking, man.
I know.
You've been sick.
I showed
You
up.
think that's an excuse? Amanda has 112 fever right now. And she's at home.
And she's
Right
rocking
there.
on.
I do not
Listen,
have a fever.
She's at the hospital. Actively joining us.
Nurse, I see the nurse walking in the back.
Yeah, they're pumping me with fluids.
Her heart is gonna like, who knows? Like she's still.
I'm just a wuss, man.
Well, that wasn't a milquetoast take.
Yeah. Yeah. But I have
No.
a stud of a question.
Oh man, I had a real thing I was gonna show you. But go ahead.
Do you
No,
if
do
you
your
have
question.
one?
Do your question.
Okay, could you pull up the spreadsheet? Because it's a long question. I typed it out to read it.
Okay.
Okay, trivia. Yes.
Oh, you did prep. Okay, never mind. We'll do my thing next week.
Yes. Could you click up in that bar just because it highlights the box bigger and bare? Awesome. Bo-Katan Kryze, who is the sister of the late Duchess Satine Kryze, regent ruler of Mandalore, says that she is the last of her line when she introduces herself to Mando. But as many know, there is another possible living Kryze clan member at this time. Who would that be? Is it A, Adonai Kryze, B, Rook Kryze, C, Paz Kryze, D, Corky Kryze?
I'm gonna be very upset if it's Adonai Kryze.
Really?
But I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say it's Adonai Kryze.
I'm gonna say D. Corky.
Oh, Amanda is right.
Good.
It is Corky.
Yeah, there's a fan theory out there that Corky is the love child of Obi-Wan and Satine.
The lost nephew.
Yeah.
Huh. Corky.
Yep.
That's like the name of a dog.
Yeah.
Is that what this is? Like
Our
it's a
listeners,
pet?
Podwans and Rural Farm Boy, they got it right too.
Just me. To be fair, I didn't know much about Star Wars starting this podcast.
That's okay.
Podwins did say no, he is not referring to Corky, that he hates that theory. I think it's silly too, but it is something that people will bring up. They'll be like, look, he looks just like the spawn of both of them. I think Corky is the worst name, almost worse than Tim.
Tim.
When I read this, I was reminded. I was like, that is kind of a lazy name.
Corky. Corky is
How can
cool.
you be like a grown man with a name like Corky?
Corky Kryze.
Just go by Cork?
Like alliteration. I hope his middle initial isn't also with a K.
Why?
Well, see, listeners, there are some real bad people.
Let's talk about religious movements and
Yes, yes.
Political
Let's not.
issues real quick here. Let's dive into what we were talking about earlier. Well, that was a good trivia question.
Thank you.
I do have a plan though. If there's ever a week where we all don't know what
Okay.
we're gonna do,
What
I
is
have a
this?
plan. I can't tell you,
Okay.
but I will
Just
say
have
it's
to
been
stay
right.
tuned.
It's been right under your nose.
I'm glad
this whole
someone
time.
has a plan now, like as like last cushion. to fall
Yes,
back
there is a
on.
legitimate plan, and I will say it's been literally under our noses this whole time.
Pod One says, let's be real, if Obi-Wan would never name his kid Corky.
That
I
is
belie-
true.
I believe that to be true too.
Obi-Wan has some more dignified. He's a whiskey man too, he drinks that blue whiskey.
Yeah, Cobb Vanth doesn't have any kids. There's no way. Or he's either like he's got none, or he's got like 16. There's no in
The
between.
illustrious life of Cobb Vanth.
I'm Cobb Vanth,
He's another guy.
father of Here Moss Pelgo.
I've been working on a cover for him this week.
A cover? What do you mean?
There's a song out there called "You'll Never Leave Harlan Alive." It's about Harlan County, Kentucky,
All right.
from the show Justified. and I'm
Okay,
reworking.
get it. You have a crush on Justified. Okay.
It's the best show
yes.
I've ever seen, and so reworking that song to fit Cop Vanth, and yeah, I'm very ready to lose all of our listeners.
I'm not.
You're gonna have to like ostracize me off the podcast. 'Cause it's just gonna get played, and everyone's gonna be it's gonna be very jarring. I'm hoping. The problem is I just think Star Wars should just be Cop Vanth for like the next 2 years. Like Timothy Oliphant's getting older. When the heck are we doing it? Rangers of the New Republic show or whatever he's gonna be in. I don't want to see any of this other stuff. I don't. I mean, like Ahsoka's fine. I'll watch Ahsoka, but I just want Cop Vanth going forward. Give me Star Wars Justified. That would be amazing. Boyd Crowder is one of the best villains, and
Isn't that kind of what the Mandalorian is trying to be?
Yeah, like the space
No.
western.
no, it's not even
Law and
close to
Order.
as good. No,
Justified.
so good.
The
Just-
Acolyte. Yeah, that'll be. That is probably my most excited.
I am
be
excited.
What's the Acolyte about?
Oh,
We don't really know. It's just about like the Sith way back. I bet Podwins knows a whole lot more.
It's cool. The word acolyte is mentioned in that book, The Lost Tribe of the Sith, and that has also obviously a lot of great nods into the Sith culture and Sith way of thinking. And oh man, it is. I am excited for the acolyte to see what the heck are they gonna do with that.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
But overall, going back to Mando, this is the last time we're going to talk about Mando, actually, for a month.
For a couple of weeks, yeah.
More than a couple weeks.
Till the end of the year.
Yeah, because
It's not that we hate Mando. Why is it, Brody?
well, next week, we're actually going to do a very special thing. We are not going to take a break on Christmas because it's been a crazy couple of months. I think we've only had one time where all three of us have been in the studio, especially this month. And for a show that goes live every Thursday, every single week in December, we've gone live on Wednesday for one reason or another, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
All of our listeners sooner or later are going to be like, what the heck? It's Wednesday. Where are they?
Ruined
Well, we're
their
in January
lives.
now. We're back to normal. But next week, we're going to talk about the Lego holiday special. And we aren't going to talk. Why would we not talk about the regular holiday special? Because at the end of next year, we're going to do a live watch party where it's everything we've ever done and achieved. All the people we're going to meet at Star Wars Celebration is leading to that one momentous moment where we get to watch the best piece of Star Wars content. And it will be decided that episode that it is indeed the holiday special. I don't know. That's just what people tell me. I've never seen it.
It'll be our first time ranking any Lego.
Yeah. I'm
Yes, it'll be the
excited for
first time
that.
we've done a Lego, so really excited about that. After the Lego holiday special, so the week of January 5th, we're taking that week off. First time in the show's existence. We're taking a pause, a well-earned 1 week break.
Vacation.
You get one break every year and a half, guys. That's all we get. So we've
Thank
earned
you.
that.
Thank you, Lord Brody.
We've earned that 1 week. January 12th, that week, we're going to talk about the things we're looking forward to most in 2023 from Ahsoka, Mandalorian, season 3, The Bad Batch, the books that are coming out that year, the comics that are coming out that year, and things that we ourselves are doing on Duel of the Ranks in the year 2023. Got a lot of really exciting stuff coming up that we're going to be talking about in that episode. And then, and only then, will we jump back into Mando January 19th.
We will finish it out.
We
Yeah.
will.
It's going to, when we finish, it's going to lead us right into Mando season 3.
Yeah. And if you can't wait that long, then you can go back and listen to how we've already ranked season 1, or go back to listen to any of our previous episodes. You can find them on our Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere you find us. And don't forget to submit your hot takes. Engage with us on Twitter. Let us know where we went wrong. But
Did we go
everybody,
wrong?
I really hope that everyone survives the cold blast that is hitting most of the country right now. And a Merry Christmas and a Chag Sameach and Happy Holidays.
Happy
And
Hanukkah.
happy
Enjoy.
holidays.
Let's do it. Be
to
sure
cover.
to like and subscribe so you don't miss anything. We might sneak something in there.
We're going to sneak it. Sneaky sneak. All right. That's it for this week's episode of Duel of the Ranks, everyone. Look forward to catching you on next week for the Lego Holiday Special. See you then.